Imagine 60 tons of steel, fire, and fury bearing down on you at highway speed, with a gun powerful enough to punch through a building and keep going. Now imagine 5 of them. Welcome to the world where the ground shakes before you even see what's coming. The tank was born from desperation, a weapon designed to cross no man's land when nothing else could, to eat barbed wire and machine gun nests for breakfast, and it changed the course of war. More than 100 years later, that mission hasn't changed, only the technology has. Today's main battle tanks are some of the most complex war machines ever built. They combine protection, firepower, and mobility in a way that no other land weapon can match. Generals love them, soldiers trust them, and enemies fear them. But not all tanks are created equal. Some are faster, some hit harder, some can survive almost anything, and a handful, just a handful, stand above the rest. These are the 5 most powerful military tanks on Earth right now, ranked by raw capability, battlefield performance, and the technology that defines modern armored warfare. Strap in, we're going in heavy. Number 5, Challenger 2. United Kingdom 1998 to present. Britain has always taken its tanks seriously. After the lessons of World War II, where superior German armor crushed poorly equipped Allied forces in the early years, the British Army made a promise to itself. Never again would its crews be outgunned. The Challenger 2 entered service in 1998, built by Vickers Defense Systems, now BAE Systems. It replaced the Challenger 1, which had proven itself in the Gulf War, but was beginning to show its age. Britain needed something new, something tougher, and they got it. The Challenger 2 was designed in the shadow of the Cold War, built to fight Soviet armor across the plains of Europe. When that threat dissolved, the tank's mission evolved, but its capabilities didn't diminish. If anything, they became more relevant. Combat weight, 62 ton. Top speed, 37 miles per hour. Main gun, L-30A1. Range, 500 kilometers. What makes the Challenger 2 exceptional is its armor. Its Chobham composite armor, developed secretly by the British in the 1960s and still among the most advanced passive protection systems in existence, is layered, angled, and engineered to absorb and deflect incoming rounds in ways that conventional steel simply cannot. The upgraded Dorchester armor package adds even more protection. In simpler terms, this tank is extraordinarily hard to kill. Its rifled 120mm L-30A1 gun is unique, one of the last rifled tank guns still in frontline service, giving it exceptional accuracy at long range. British tank doctrine has long emphasized precision over volume of fire. 1 round, 1 kill. During Operation Telic in Iraq in 2003, a Challenger 2 absorbed no fewer than 70 RPG hits and 14 Milan anti-tank missile impacts, and the crew walked out alive. Real-world usage. In the streets of Basra, the Challenger 2 became legend. That extraordinary survivability record in Iraq 2003 wasn't luck. It was engineering. The only Challenger 2 loss in that conflict was destroyed by friendly fire from another Challenger 2. Think about what that means. The most dangerous thing to a Challenger 2 on that battlefield was another Challenger 2, but the Challenger 2 has known darker days. In the Yemen conflict, Saudi-operated Challengers suffered losses to Houthi anti-tank weapons, and the tank's aging fire control system has drawn criticism. It lacks some of the digital networking capabilities of its competitors. The British Army knows this, which is why the Challenger 3 upgrade program is now underway, bringing it into the 21st century with a new turret, new gun, and fully digital battlespace integration. The Challenger 3 will be the most significant British tank upgrade in generations. With active protection systems, a new 120mm smoothbore gun compatible with NATO ammunition, and fully networked digital systems, it will close the gap with the world's best. The lion still has teeth, and they're getting sharper. Number 4, T-14 Armata. Russian Federation, 2015 present. When the T-14 Armata rolled across Red Square in Moscow during 2015 Victory Day Parade, the world stopped and stared. Here was something genuinely different. Something that didn't look like any Russian tank that had come before it. Something that looked like the future. Russia built the T-14 because it had to. The catastrophic losses of T-72 and T-80 tanks in Chechnya, where urban combat exposed fatal vulnerabilities in legacy Soviet designs, forced Moscow to confront an uncomfortable truth. Their armor was outdated, their crews were dying, and a new generation of anti-tank weapons was making old protection methods obsolete. Russia's answer was the Armata Universal Combat Platform, a completely new foundation for which the T-14 was born. Combat weight, 55 ton. Top speed, 56 miles per hour. Main gun, 2A82-1M. Range, 500 kilometers. The T-14's most radical feature is its unmanned turret. For the first time in a Russian main battle tank, the 3-man crew is sealed inside an armored capsule in the hull, completely isolated from the ammunition and the gun. If the turret is destroyed, the crew can still survive. That's a philosophical shift in tank design. Previous Soviet and Russian doctrine accepted crew losses as an acceptable cost of war. The Armata says otherwise. Its 125mm 2A82-1M smoothbore gun is reportedly the most powerful tank cannon in any production vehicle today, capable of firing guided missiles, kinetic energy penetrators, and thermobaric rounds. The Afghan active protection system uses radar to detect incoming missiles and intercepts them before they reach the hull. The tank can theoretically hunt threats before they even fire. On paper, the T-14 Armata represents the most significant leap in tank design since the introduction of composite armor in the 1970s. But here's where Russia's ambitions meet Russia's reality. The T-14 has never seen confirmed frontline combat. During Russia's war in Ukraine, the largest tank battle in Europe since World War II, the Armata has been conspicuously absent. Reports suggest production numbers are extremely low, mechanical reliability remains a serious concern, and sanctions have complicated access to key components. One of the most technologically advanced tanks ever designed may exist primarily as a symbol of capability rather than an actual battlefield weapon. That gap between promise and performance is not a small thing. Russia insists the T-14 is the future of its armored forces, with an optionally unmanned variant reportedly in development. Whether that future arrives on schedule, or at all, depends on economics, politics, and a war that has already consumed thousands of older tanks. The Armada's potential is undeniable. Whether it can be realized is a question. Number 3. K-2 Black Panther. Republic of Korea, 2014 to present. South Korea lives under a particular kind of shadow. 60 miles from Seoul, the capital of one of the world's most advanced democracies, sits one of the world's most hostile and unpredictable military forces. North Korea maintains thousands of tanks, some outdated, some upgraded, all pointed south. South Korea's response was methodical and ambitious. Rather than buying off the shelf from the United States or Germany, Seoul decided to build its own. The K-2 Black Panther, developed by Hyundai Rotem and entering service in 2014, is the result of decades of indigenous defense investment, and it shows. South Korea didn't just want a capable tank. They wanted arguably the most technologically advanced production tank in the world. And by many measures, they achieved exactly that. Combat weight, 55 ton. Top speed, 70 miles per hour. Smoothbore gun, 120 millimeters. Range, 450 kilometers. The K-2 is, in a word, fast, at up to 70 kilometers per hour on road. Faster than many sports utility vehicles. It redefines what a 55-ton machine can do. That speed comes from a 1,500 horsepower engine and a hydropneumatic suspension system. So advanced, it allows the tank to kneel, lean, and adjust its ride height mid-movement. The K-2 can cross terrain that would strand other tanks. It can even submerge to a depth of 4.5 meters using a snorkel, crossing rivers completely underwater. Its fire control system is a generation ahead of most competitors. Radar-based tracking, automatic target detection, a hunter-killer system that allows the commander and gunner to engage different targets simultaneously, and ammunition that can be programmed mid-flight. The gun doesn't just shoot, it thinks. Poland has ordered nearly 1,000 K2S, not because it was the cheapest option, but because it was the best one available. The K2 hasn't seen the kind of extended combat that proves a tank's mettle over decades, but its export success speaks to global confidence in its design. Poland, facing a renewed Russian threat on its eastern border, chose the K2 as a centerpiece of its armor expansion, one of the largest tank procurement decisions in European history. When a NATO nation on the front lines of European security picks your tank over German and American alternatives, you're doing something right. The K2's Achilles heel is its price tag, at roughly $8 to $9 million per unit. It's one of the most expensive tanks ever built. That cost limits procurement numbers. A brilliant tank that can't be fielded in sufficient quantity is only as effective as the budget allows. South Korea continues to refine cost structures, but the tension between capability and affordability is one every defense procurement officer understands well. Number 2. Leopard 2A7, Federal Republic of Germany, 2014 to present. Germany has a complicated relationship with tanks. The nation that gave the world the Panzer and the Tiger, machines that dominated World War II battlefields through sheer engineering excellence, spent decades after 1945 rebuilding a military identity rooted in restraint and partnership. But the need for armor never went away. And when West Germany began developing its next-generation main battle tank in the 1970s, they approached it with the same obsessive engineering discipline that defines German industry at its best. The Leopard 2 entered service in 1979. Over the following 4 decades, it was refined, upgraded, and evolved to a series of variants that kept it at the cutting edge of tank technology. The 2A7, introduced in 2014, represents the apex of that evolutionary process. A tank so highly regarded that over 20 nations operate some variant of the Leopard 2 family. That kind of adoption rate doesn't happen by accident. Combat weight, 68 T. Top speed, 45 miles per hour. Main gun, RH-120. Range, 550 kilometers. The Leopard 2A7's Rheinmetall 120mm smoothbore gun is the gold standard of modern tank armament. It's so respected that the United States licensed it for the M1 Abrams. When your primary competitor adopts your gun, you know you've gotten something right. The 2A7 fires the most advanced NATO standard ammunition available, including the DM-73 kinetic energy penetrator, which can defeat virtually any armor on Earth at combat ranges. Its composite armor package has been repeatedly upgraded, including add-on modular armor for urban operations. The fire control system integrates thermal imaging, laser range finding, ballistic computation, and a stabilized gun that allows accurate fire while moving at full speed across rough terrain. The Leopard 2A7 can engage a moving target at 2 kilometers, while itself moving at 40 kilometers per hour. That's not a machine. That's a sniper rifle the size of a house. More than 20 nations trust the Leopard 2 family with their national defense. That is the most powerful endorsement any weapon system can receive. The Leopard 2 has seen combat in Afghanistan with Canadian and Danish forces, and it performed admirably in the hostile mountain terrain of Kandahar province, surviving IED blasts and direct fire engagements. Turkey has operated Leopard 2s in Syria, where some are lost anti-tank missiles in urban combat. A reminder that no tank is invincible in close-quarters warfare without proper infantry support. Those lessons have been incorporated into subsequent upgrades. In 2023, when Western nations committed Leopard 2s to Ukraine's counteroffensive, the decision carried immense symbolic and strategic weight. It represented the West's willingness to provide Kiev with its best, not second-tier equipment, but frontline armor trusted by Germany, Poland, and the United States' closest allies. Ukraine's experience with the Leopard 2 has been instructive and sobering. Several were lost to mines, drone strikes, and anti-tank missiles, particularly in the heavily fortified terrain around Zaporizhia. Military analysts have noted that no tank, no matter how advanced, can compensate for insufficient combined arm support. The Leopard 2 is a system. It works best as part of an integrated force. Isolated, any tank can be killed. That's not a flaw. That's the nature of modern warfare. Number 1, the most powerful, M1A2 SCPV-3, Abrams, United States of America 1980, to present continuously upgraded. 1973, the Sinai Desert. During the Yom Kippur War, Egyptian forces launched a massive tank assault against Israeli positions using Soviet-supplied armor. American military observers watched with growing alarm. Soviet tank technology had advanced further and faster than anyone in the Pentagon had expected. If those tanks had been wearing red stars instead of Arab markings, if they'd been rolling through the Fulda Gap into West Germany, the result might have been catastrophic. The United States Army went home and got to work. The XM-1 program was already underway, but the urgency was now undeniable. America needed a new tank, not an upgrade, not a revision, but an entirely new generation of armored fighting vehicle, named after General Creighton Abrams, a decorated World War II tank commander and Army Chief of Staff. The M1 Abrams entered service in 1980, and it has never stopped evolving. The M1A2 SCPV-3, Systems Enhancement Package Version 3, is the latest production variant. It is not merely an updated tank. It is a completely integrated battlefield weapon system. And it sits at the top of this list for reasons that are as much about doctrine and ecosystem as they are about raw specifications. Combat weight, 73 ton. Top speed, 45 miles per hour. M256, 120 millimeters gun. Gas turbine, 1,500 horsepower. The Abrams runs on a gas turbine engine, the same fundamental technology that powers a helicopter. It's the only main battle tank in the world still using this propulsion system at scale, and produces a distinctive howling sound that soldiers in the field call the sound of freedom. The turbine gives the Abrams extraordinary acceleration for its weight, going from 0 to 20 miles per hour in roughly 7 seconds, in 73 tons. Let that sink in. Its M256 120mm smoothbore gun fires the most advanced ammunition in the NATO inventory, including the M829A4 armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot round, a depleted uranium penetrator that hits targets at over a mile per second. The SCPV-3 adds an upgraded commander's independent thermal viewer, a new auxiliary power unit that reduces the signature of the tank while stationary, improved communications architecture, and trophy active protection system integration, a radar-guided defense system that can intercept incoming anti-tank missiles and rocket-propelled grenades in flight. But the Abrams' real advantage isn't any single piece of hardware. It's the ecosystem surrounding it. No other tank in the world is backed by the full weight of American military doctrine, American logistics, American satellite communications, American air support, and American combined arms integration. The Abrams doesn't fight alone. It fights as the centerpiece of the most sophisticated military machine in human history. In Desert Storm, over 1,800 Abrams tanks rolled into Kuwait and Iraq. Not a single one was lost to Iraqi anti-tank fire. The Iraqis destroyed 23 American tanks during the entire war, all by accident. The Gulf War in 1991 was the Abrams' debut on the world stage, and it was nothing short of astonishing. Operating in one of the most demanding desert environments on Earth, extreme heat, blowing sand, limited visibility, American Abrams crews destroyed hundreds of Iraqi T-72s at ranges the Iraqi gunners couldn't even match. The thermal imaging systems on the Abrams allowed American crews to see and shoot at ranges where Iraqi tanks were essentially blind. It was a technological ambush, a massacre conducted by machines. The Abrams fought again in 2003 during the invasion of Iraq, pushing from Kuwait to Baghdad in 21 days against a force that had months to prepare defensive positions. In urban combat in Fallujah, Ramadi, and Baghdad, the Abrams proved capable of absorbing RPG hits that would have killed lesser tanks. Some took catastrophic damage, and the crews still walked away. In Ukraine, a small number of M1A1 Abrams tanks transferred to Kiev's forces saw action in 2024. Several were lost, primarily to Russian drone attacks and anti-tank guided missiles used in overwhelming numbers. The Pentagon has been transparent about this, and the lessons learned are already being incorporated into doctrine and future upgrades. No tank wins alone. The Abrams, stripped of its full support ecosystem in a foreign army, faced challenges its designers never intended it to face without American combined armed support. Even so, it performed beyond what Kiev's commanders had expected in direct armor-on-armor engagements. The Abrams carries its own burdens, at roughly $10 million per unit. And with fuel consumption that can reach 3 gallons per mile during intensive operations, it is an extraordinarily expensive weapon to field and sustain. The gas turbine, while powerful, requires more maintenance than diesel alternatives. And the sheer weight of the tank, at 73 tons in SCPV-3 configuration, limits the bridges it can cross and complicates strategic deployment. America's military has built an entire logistical architecture around supporting the Abrams, an architecture that most armies in the world simply cannot replicate. The next chapter is already being written. General Dynamics Land Systems has unveiled the Abrams X, a technology demonstrator that points toward the Abrams of the 2030s and 2040s. It features a hybrid diesel-electric drive system that dramatically reduces fuel consumption, a new, smaller turret, an auto-loader that eliminates the loader crew position, reducing the crew from 4 to 3, and deep integration with autonomous systems, including teamed unmanned ground and aerial vehicles that will operate with and for future Abrams crews. The Abrams X isn't just a tank upgrade. It's a preview of what armored warfare will look like when artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and human crews fight as a single networked entity. The Abrams entered service when America was worried about Soviet tanks crossing the Rhine. 40-plus years later, it is still the standard against which every other tank in the world is measured. That is not a coincidence. That is a product of sustained investment, relentless engineering, and a military doctrine that has never stopped learning from the battlefield. 5 tanks, 5 nations, 5 different answers to the same ancient question. How do you protect the people inside the metal while destroying everything outside it? The Challenger 2 answers with armor, so thick it has become legend. The T-14 Armata answers with radical design. It can ever answer it all. The K-2 Black Panther answers with speed, technology, and the cold mathematics of a nation that has never been able to afford complacency. The Leopard 2A7 answers with the kind of refined, exported engineering excellence that defines German precision. And the M1A2 Abrams answers with something no other tank on Earth possesses: the full weight of American military power behind every round it fires. But there's something these machines can't answer, something no tank ever has, and no tank ever will. They can win battles. They cannot win peace. They can hold a line. They cannot heal a wound. They can protect the soldier inside, but not the family waiting at home. Tanks are remarkable in the same way that all weapons of war are remarkable. They represent the absolute pinnacle of what human ingenuity can achieve when it is pointed at destruction, and that fact should give all of us pause. The most powerful machine on the battlefield is not the one with the thickest armor or the biggest gun. It's the one that never has to be used. And the day we build that machine, that's the day we've really won something. If this story made you think, hit like, share it with someone who should see this, and subscribe for more powerful stories from the world of warfare.